So what are your thoughts? Because, you know, there's a lot of people saying, whoa, this is just heavy-handed. Why would you frighten two girls, upset them, taking... little girls have picked flowers forever.
It's a really difficult one, and obviously it's a shame that children were involved. That makes it slightly more emotive. I dare say if it had been older people seen picking them, it would have been a slightly different story. It's a really difficult one, but I think at the end of the day, at this time of year, daffodils, they're such a fantastic sight to see for everyone, and it's...
But they're not rare, they're not endangered. Why can't you pick them?
Well, no, they're not. I think the problem is with bulb plants like these and crocuses, snowdrops, obviously once you pick it, that's it. It will probably grow back next year, but for this year, that's it. Whereas other flowers, they will kind of grow back. And I suppose it's just that thing, if everybody picked them, they'd be gone pretty quickly. So you're right, I mean, there's a lot of them, but, you know, they wouldn't be pretty quickly.
And you can also buy them pretty cheaply now in all the supermarkets. It's sort of a pound between 95p and a pound
95
for a
in
bunch.
Aldi, a pound in all the others. And Pauline says a bunch of daffodils costs £1 in the supermarket. Are they really that tight-fisted? So they could have bought them in the supermarket.
Well, this is it, and I think you'd get better quality. The things, the ones you buy from the supermarket, they tend to be in bud, and they do a lovely thing. You put them in a vase, and then over the days,
spring open, don't they
come out.
So what is the rule for wildflowers then? I mean, because the law says that you can't do it. Are there some flowers that you can, or is it just protected ones?
All wildflowers are covered. There's a piece of legislation called the Wildlife and Countryside Act, which was put in to protect the countryside, and it protects every single flower from being destroyed. So that technically means...
What about daisy chains?
Well, this is the thing with destruction. It means uprooting, so you can't dig them up. And it's a really good piece of law, because if you didn't have that, if you were doing a bit of gardening this weekend, you say, oh, I'm just going to nip out to the woods, dig up a few nice plants, stick them in my garden. So, you know, it protects the countryside for all of us. So you can pick any flower as long as you don't uproot it.
But
which means...
Not from council land.
Well, yeah, this is the difference here, is that daffodils in this country, most of them are not wild. Most of them are in flower beds, they're on road verges, and they've been planted by the council, and the council have spent money on that out of their budget to make the verge look good. So at this point, we sort of verge away from the wildlife law just into what's called the Theft Act. It's basically just nicking somebody else's flowers. In the same way, if you had them out the front of your house and you came out one morning and somebody was picking your daffodils,
you'd be pretty
miffed off about it.
So those little girls could have gone over onto that land and picked the dandelions and given them to Mum. I mean, not that you want to give dandelions to
No, they
Mum.
could. They could have done a sort of posy of wildflowers. I think it's just the daffodils, they're not native in that situation. There are some native daffodils around the country, but actually they're quite rare. So really, whether they're wild or not, you just shouldn't really pick
What are
them.
real no-nos for picking? Are there some very endangered, protected flowers?
Yeah, so there's some mentioned by the Wildlife and Countryside Act. So there's things like, there's a moss called capillary thread moss, there's a flower called sandwort, lady slipper orchid, in fact a lot of orchids, they're real no-nos, and it's definitely a criminal offence even to pick a leaf off those plants.
Can you go to prison?
Nobody has yet, as far as I know, but you can certainly get a massive fine for it, and there's more and more prosecutions being brought.
Up to £6,000?
Yeah, and they're really trying to take this seriously, because a lot of these flowers, they're on the absolute brink of extinction,
Right,
and if people are, and a lot of it is because people in the past have picked them, so, you know, they need all the help they can get, really.
All right.
Well, Laura says people have been picking flowers from fields and the roadside for years. There's bigger things to worry about, and those daffodils went off, and that was the other thing that I thought, and we're at odds here a little bit about this, but I thought the police officer took the 27 daffodils and then they apparently went off to a care home. So you've taken them from children to give them to somebody else. I mean, you can't let them go to waste, but
no.
You would have thought they might have said, do you know, you're not allowed to do that. Please don't do it again. There's the flowers, but don't do it.
Yeah.
I just thought he was a bit cheeky the way he was talking to the police officer. That's all. That's all. And I think he lost me at that point, the dad. But anyway, Lindsay says, what were the police going to do with them once they confiscated them? Replant them? Talk about wasting police time. As we just said, they went to a care home.
Go to the shop and buy some, says Alana. The flowers make the roads look pretty for everyone to enjoy. Right. Well, thank you for those.
Thank you.
I think we got the final total from our poll. So we did ask you earlier on, was it a good thing or...
To pick or not to pick?
55% say it's not OK. 45% say
close.
it's OK.
It's close, though.
There you go.
Right, thank you very much.